What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today. Now, this video is going to be a little bit shorter than normal, so if I don't go over everything, just give me a little bit of grace there. I'm making this video at night because I got to get up early in the morning. So again, trying to get to bed, trying to get you guys these plays out as soon as possible, everything like that. I will say we had not a great day, right? We missed this one right here by a couple of kills. This one was a 3 out of 4. And then, as you will see in these other misses that we have down here, and then we have actually a setup happening overnight, which with these two League of Legends guys, everything was correlated together, right? Soccer, very correlated together. So these guys go over together because their team had a lot of possession, okay? These guys go over together because their team had a lot of possession. If this team didn't have much possession, they'd probably go under, and that's why I took the under thinking that would happen, but it didn't. They ended up having a lot of possession. Same thing over here, right? I took the unders, the overs ended up happening. I think this is the game that I actually have pulled up and I can show you guys, but you'll see this, Marseille versus Strasbourg, and if you look at the game, Marseille versus Strasbourg, you have 67% possession. They had 666 passes to the other team's only 350 passes. So they literally passed the ball almost double the amount as the other team. That's a lot of possession. That's a lot of pass attempts. So again, should I have taken the overs? Sure. But sometimes I'm going to take the overs. Sometimes I'm going to take the unders. Sometimes I'm going to be right. Sometimes I'm going to be wrong, right? The past 3 days have really been a big learning opportunity, really, because if you go back 2 days ago, we ended up having a really bad day. We went down like 7 units. That's like kind of as bad as it gets. Honestly, we had some setups that kind of, ended up hitting, but we ended up not having a good day at all on PrizePicks, and it was just for the simple fact that everything went 3 out of 4, right? If you look at this, 3 out of 4, we missed by one guy, 3 out of 4 by one guy, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4, or 2 out of 3, whatever, right? So we got some very close misses, and, we got unlucky. A lot of things ended up missing together, and we had a pretty bad day. We went down like 7 units, and I went over that a couple of days ago. I think that was on, must have been like Wednesday, right? And you go to yesterday, and we had a really good day, right? So the dichotomy of these days, they can constantly go up and down and shift, right? Again, we had a 9x, and we had a 4x, and I think we had a 2.2x as well with this one right here. And this was a really, really good day, and we go up like 11 or 12 units from this day. So everything about this day, which was Thursday, paid off Wednesday, right? But day to day, I don't care about day to day, right? We're going to go up, we're going to go down. Everything is just fluctuating. And over a long period of time, and I'm talking about weeks, months, this is when we see our progress and how we're going to grow and grow and grow, right? Day to day, we might play 7 entries and all of them might miss. That could happen because that is the reality of playing 3 and 4 man entries. They might all miss. Now, same thing with today. Again, we missed this one here. We missed this one here, obviously. We missed this one very close, another 3 out of 4. This was the YouTube play of the day with Lou Nickel, and he did bad. He played really bad, and, I'll kind of get into this, right? But this is a setup, and if this play hits, then we instantly turn it to actually being a very profitable day just from this entry hitting. Now, knock on wood, because obviously I want the play to hit. If the play does not hit, then it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. We're going to have a lot more entries. We're going to have a lot more correlation. The main thing to take away from this screen, right? And it wasn't that eventful of a day. There wasn't that much soccer. There's a lot more soccer on Saturday. Is look at how correlated these guys are, right? And last thing going into the play yesterday, I talked about Caleb Johnson, and I talked about him not playing very much for the Steelers. Well, what do you know? Tonight he played a lot for the Steelers, and he got like 10 or 11 carries, took a lot of carries away from Nichols, and he ended up only getting like 3 carries. So I did not think that was going to happen after having 10 carries the first game, but it is what it is. It's the preseason. It's really hard to read what these coaches are trying to do. And then right here in this Club America game right here, I said, actually in yesterday's video, I said, I do think Club America is going to have more possession, but I think they're probably going to have to get in the mid to high 60s possession-wise to have the over hit. And if you look at the game, how the game's going on right now, and the game is actually happening right now, they have 66. When I checked it last, they were actually at 69 or 70% possession. So they are in that kind of mid 60s, high 60s range. So they've had a lot of possession, and this guy, I bet you, is going to go over because, again, he's had 22 passes at 55 minutes, right? So I bet he does go over. They have had a lot of possession because Club America had so much possession, again, 66% possessions, possessing the ball 2/3 of the game, which is a massive amount. This guy's going to go over, right? And this is everything, I was wrong about. obviously. But I'm going to be wrong about things. I'm going to be right about things. This is sports betting. You're not going to get everything right. I can't get everything right. I'm not some oracle that's from the future. I'm going to miss entries, right? That's why I always show you guys the record. We miss a lot. We've missed over 1,200 entries on my VIP and only hit 300 of them because a lot of these four-mans are not going to hit very often. But when they do, they're going to pay out very big, right? As we saw yesterday and as we're going to continue to see, okay? So if you do want to get into the VIP, I'm going to rapid fire this, guys. You can get through Kalshi, you can get it through Underdog Fantasy, you can get through Novig, through Sleeper, wherever Sleeper is at right here, through Rebet, and through Better as well. Okay, so all these ways are methods to get into my VIP. All of them have different promo codes. Actually, they're all promo code detective. The only one that's different is Sleeper. But I do highly recommend and want you guys to text me first. Okay, so text me if you do want to sign up for any of these apps. My number is up here on the screen. You can save that in your phone or whatever. You can sign up for multiple of these apps or whatever you want to do, and you'll get multiple months of the VIP for free. And the reason why it's free is because with Kalshi, for example, you put in $10, and with that $10 deposit, you play a $1 trade or something like that. I'll get you 2 months free of the VIP. And it's not like you're losing that money, right? A lot of people are like, well, it's free. You say it's free, but I have to put $10 into Kalshi. Well, you put $10 into an app, and you could just take a bet and then you could take the money right out, right? And at the end of the day, guys, $10 for 2 months of the VIP is absolutely insane value. It is literally bringing that down to pretty much $5 a month if you actually do think about it as taking that money out of your account, actually. So that is incredible stuff there. Definitely sign up for that if you have not yet. I also have a NFL pass going on right now. All of my picks up until Super Bowl 61, and that's going to be $150. I am going to end this on, I think, Friday, next Friday. So we got one more week of this pass going. Again, I've had people that have bought this over the past week or two, and they've already paid it off because we were just at all-time highs. And again, we are pretty much at all-time highs because if you go back a couple of videos ago, I think this was probably at like 125 if you go back a couple weeks ago. So we've gone up like 25 units in the past week or two, and if you joined 2 weeks ago, then you might have already paid this pass off. But if you haven't, don't sweat it. You'll pay it off by September, October, whatever it is, and you'll have the rest of the year pretty much with house money going up until that Super Bowl. Okay, so let's get into the play of the day, which is going to be utilizing NFL preseason and soccer correlation, and then I have a bonus pick for you guys, which you guys can obviously see who it is going to be. It's going to be Lionel Messi, who we love taking under on his pass attempts, and I'll get to that too. But Reggie Virgil, we're going to take him over 22.5 receiving yards. Very simply, why I like Reggie Virgil to go over is because he's getting a lot of volume. He's had 7 or 8, I think it's 7 receptions in the past 2 games, and a lot of these are in varying levels. So sometimes they're short passes, sometimes they're long passes. I watched this guy a lot at Texas Tech, a lot. I watched the Texas Tech offense almost every game throughout the entire game because some of my favorite duos, if not my favorite duo of anything of college football, was through Texas Tech. These guys threw the ball like crazy. They were a very explosive offense last year, and Reggie Virgil was a big part of that. Okay, so he's very good. I think he actually got overlooked because they had like 4 or 5 pass catchers in that offense that all I believe now are in the NFL, or they should be in the NFL because they were that good of a team. Okay, so Reggie Virgil, very good player. I like him a lot. I bet on him quite a lot. I bet on these Texas Tech guys a lot last year with the quarterbacks they had, because they actually had 2 quarterbacks that year coming in and out due to injuries. But anyway, taking them over, and the second play here is going to be Toronto, these 2 Toronto players playing Inter Miami, and I'm taking them under, right? Inter Miami, if you guys do not know, is the crown jewel of the MLS, really, right? They have Messi, they have Suarez, they have Casemiro now, they have Rodrigo de Paul. They just have really, really insanely good legends of soccer, and they are the best team in the MLS, right? It's almost like, they're like the Dodgers of the MLS, so to speak, right? They just have every amazing player. They're the best team, and they play like the best team, right? They do get those possessions in the 60s and the 65% possession, and Toronto is actually bottom of the league. Now, I don't know if they're bottom of the league. I actually have the standings pulled up right here in front of me. They actually are bottom in the league in win-loss, but they're one of the bottom of the league in possession, okay? And that's all I really care about. All I really care about is possession. Inter Miami, top of the league, top 1, top 2 in the league of possession. Toronto's like bottom 5 or 6 of the league, and there's like 25 teams, so being bottom 5 or 6 is pretty bad. So I am taking these two Toronto guys to go under. Even against a lot worse opponents than Miami, these guys still frequently go under. And one other thing that I love about it is these guys play right next to each other on the field. This guy plays right here, Richie plays right here, and then Alonso plays right here, right? So they play right next to each other, which is a big deal because it means that they are more correlated together, right? You're gonna impact each other more if you're playing right next to each other, other than say if I bet on this guy and then I bet on like this guy all the way across the field, right? These guys wouldn't have that much possession together. But since they're really close to each other, if they pass a lot, they're going to be passing to each other a lot. If they don't have the ball on this side of the field, you know, you'll sometimes see soccer games where for some reason the ball is just on one side of the field a lot. And you'll see that sometimes. And again, if the ball is on this side of the field, if Toronto does have the ball quite a lot, then you're going to see a lot of passes. If they don't have the ball, which is what I'm predicting to happen, again, I'm trying to hit two birds with one stone. I make one prediction, which is Toronto to have less possession, and if that happens, both of these guys should hit together, right? So hopefully that makes sense. That's all I'm trying to do. It's nothing more complicated than that. I really don't have to go in more into the weeds than that. It's literally me making one prediction that I think Toronto is not going to have much possession. And if they end up not having much possession, these guys should hit together. If they have a lot of possession, these guys should hit together towards the overs, okay? And we would miss, but they would go over together, so it would be correlated. And again, referring back to just today, just a couple of slips, you're going to see how correlated these guys are together, right? When they have a lot of possession, they'll go over together, okay? So that's going to be that. That's going to be the three-man right there. Now, bonus pick for you guys is going to be Lionel Messi. I've talked about him at length over the past 2 months of why I constantly like to take his under pass attempts. I mean, I think I've probably taken him 5 or 6 times under, and I think we only missed him one time, and I think it was because the Argentina game went into overtime, and he ended up getting like 20 passes in overtime or something like that. So the only time that we have ever missed Messi's pass attempt line is when it went to overtime. And by the way, in the MLS, unless it's like the playoffs or whatever, overtime is not even a thing, okay? So Messi under, I've said this before, but guys, he plays striker, he plays winger. Whether he plays striker or winger tomorrow, it doesn't matter. 41.5 way too high for him. Anytime Messi's in the 40 pass attempts, take him under. I have no idea why they keep raising his line even. Like, if you go back to a couple of days ago when we hit right here, his line was 37.5 in the last game they played right here, okay? Now his line is 41.5. As I said, I get it, the matchup is easier for him, but it doesn't matter. He's an attacker. His job is to score. I think what ends up happening with a lot of these prize picks, people that bet, is they just see Messi and they're like, I'm going to take him over. He's the GOAT. I'm going to take him over. And that's we can just take advantage of that is what I'm saying. Again, echoing what I said even through the World Cup, I'm not saying that he's not the best player, one of the best players in the world, if not the best player, the best player of all time. Could he get 3 goals this game? Could he get 2 goals? Sure, he could do all that. It doesn't mean that he's going to get 60 passes in conjunction with it, right? There's a lot of games in Argentina during that World Cup where he would get goal and assist, he would get 2 goals, he would get 2 goals and an assist, and he would still only have like 28 passes, right? And I would have comments of being like, we never bet against the GOAT, don't bet against the GOAT. But it's like, dude, I'm not saying that he's not the GOAT. I'm not saying that he can't get 2 goals. I'm just saying that he's not going to get 42 passes, right? These are going to be my plays. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. Again, with these 2 picks, are they a little bit, juxtaposed? Because yes, I'm taking both teams to go under. Yes, they are, but I just really like the Messi line, and I think it's way too high, okay? So thank you guys again for watching. Thank you guys for all the support as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.